Hello, welcome to class. So in this class we'll be making a crop tube top or a crop bustier tube top. Okay, so what you need is your pattern paper, and on your pattern paper you must have drafted your bustier pattern there, okay, up to the length that you want it to stop. Okay, so I'll be stopping mine at my waist length. I might even later decide to reduce the length of the bustier tube top that we are making, okay, so that it can give me my desired length. Okay, so this is my pattern. As you can see, this is the pattern, this is the front side of the pattern, and this is the back of the pattern, and I've gone ahead to label it. Okay, so this is the back and this is the front of the pattern. Okay, so I'll be doing alteration to this my bustier pattern now to get our two top bustier top. Okay, now we want to go ahead and draft your bustier pattern, trace it out on paper like so. Then you'll be needing other things like your fabric scissors, your paper scissors, your pencil, not marker. I will not be using marker. I'll be using this pencil for precision. I'll be using masking tape or paper tape. I'll be using my straight rules and as well as my curve rules for the alteration of this my shoulder dart bustier into a two top bustier. Okay, so like I earlier said, I have drafted a bustier pattern and I traced it out. Okay, so the bustier pattern that I'm working with is the shoulder dart bustier. That is, you have your bustier connected to the shoulder. This part of the pattern is no longer part of the draft, okay, as well as this part of the pattern. Okay, if you have been in my bustier class, you will understand how I did this drafting of this bustier. Okay, and this bustier pattern works for all sizes, no matter how big or small your body might be. Okay, so even if the person is a plus size, very busty, this pattern works perfectly for those, for every sizes. Okay, so just input your measurements and you work with it. So if you like to, and then this is the back of the pattern. Okay, the center back also is not, like I shaded, this part is no longer part of the pattern. Okay, so we are working with just this part of the pattern for the back, and as well as this part and this part for the front. Okay, so now I've gotten you acquainted with my pattern and I've gone ahead to label. This is the across back, this is the bust line, this is the under bust line, this is the waistline. The same thing is being replicated at the front, the waistline, under bust, the bust line, and this is the across chest line. Okay, this is across back line. Okay, so now we want to start the alteration, and the alteration will be starting from the front of our pattern. So the first thing you want to do is to take your tape and determine the length of your tube top that you want to make. Okay, so like I earlier said, I want to do a tube top that stops at my waistline. Okay, so you can decide to extend it or make it shorter. Okay, so now let me measure what I have here. I have like about 17 inches here. Okay, so if I'm okay with this length, I can go ahead with my alteration. Okay, then the next thing you want to locate now is your neck depth, how deep you want your tube top to be. Okay, so here is my chest line, and the chest line here is stopping at 8.5 inches, and this is my bust point. Okay, so the question I'm to ask myself or my client is that, am I okay with using my chest line? Okay, you can see that my chest line is very close to, it's not close, but it's quite close to my bust point. For some people, they don't like their cleavage to show, so if you are using your chest line, it will still show a little part of your cleavage. Okay, especially for busty people, it will surely show your cleavage. So you want to determine how long you want your neckline to be. So let us do something around 7 inches. Okay, or 7.5. 7.5 is perfect. So I'll be doing 7.5 inches as my neckline for, or the neck depth now for this bustier that I'm drafting. Okay, so this is it. Okay, then you go to this side. Is one side of the front, this is another side of the front. Remember that we have a dart in between, meaning that this dart has separated your pattern into two. So you want to label this part as A and this part as B. So you want to take 0.5 inches here and 0.5 inches here for tightening of the neck of the this part of your neckline. Remember that this part is a dart, and this, once you have ruled this part as your neck depth, this part will be chopped off because we are not doing a full dress. Okay, so if you are doing that, you want to then tighten your over bust. This place is now called your over bust, so you want to tighten it by 0.5 inches like so. Okay, so then you reconnect it back to your bust point. So this is where we tighten back to your bust point with a straight rule like so. Then you do the same thing for the other side of your pattern like so. Can you see? Meaning that this part is no longer part of the draft. Okay, I hope I'm clear. So once you have that in place, you can then continue with your neck alteration. So the next question you want to ask yourself is that, do I want to do a straight neck or a curved neck or a sweetheart neck? Whatever the case might be, you are free to do that from this point. So you can play around with different neck type that you desire. So this is the neck, this is a new neck width from here to here. So from here you want to connect your neckline depending on how you want it. If you want to do sweetheart neck, you can go ahead and do just that. So I'll be doing a sweetheart neck over here. So I'll connect it from this my center front up to this my new neckline separation. Okay, so this is our new neckline. Okay, so this other part of the neck here, you want to connect it back to your armhole. Remember that our armhole is here, and the two top cannot just stand straight like this. Okay, so you want to connect it to your armhole. So just take a convenient what's it called, curve rule, and connect like so. Okay, then you can also decide to lower your armhole depth, because we are working with a what's it called, a armless pattern. Okay, so you want to lower it so that that armhole will not be bulging at that point. So just come down from your bust line here, you just come down by about half of an inch, that's 0.5 of an inch. Then you connect this connection that you're already doing, you connect it to it. So just take your time and get a perfect curve. Okay, get a perfect curve like so. I just hope what I'm doing is comprehensive enough. Okay, so connect it like so, and there you have it. So now this part you want to tighten it. Remember that you have a new curve line, and this new curve line, if you do not tighten it, it will gape. So what you want to do is to just measure about half of an inch or quarter of an inch, depending on how tight you want it to be, and connect it to your bust point like so. Okay, and connect it to your bust point like so. Okay, so you can do more, you can do half, you can do quarter. So that's quarter, this is like half of an inch. So it means that you will be pinning off this side of your darts when you cut it out. Okay, so I just hope you can see what I'm doing and it's explanatory. That's why I'm using two different color of pens. Okay, now to the back, we are through with the front. Remember that you have done the main job by contouring your pattern. You know, you've contoured your pattern, you've done everything for the bustier, everything is ready concerning the bustier. Now what is left is just for you to alterate it to your two top pattern, which we just did for the front. So we want to continue at the back. So what you want to do at the back also is to come down by 0.5. Remember you came down from the front by 0.5 inch. So you want to do the same so that they will be balanced at the side, so like so. Then for the center back, you want to determine whether you want to decide whether you want to use a straight back or you want to come a little bit down. I mean curvy, a little bit curvy. So you can do something like 1 inch curvier from this is our bust line. Remember we came down by 0.5 here, so we can decide to come down by 1, 1.5, 2, depending on how low you want the back to be, or you might want to just do this the same 0.5 that you did at the side back. Okay, so I'll be coming down by about, let me see, 1.5 or 1 inch. So let me just do 1 inch. Okay, so I will take my curve rule and connect it to this part. So this part connect to your center back. This is the side back, and this is the center back. This is the side front, and this is the center front. Okay, so from this point I'll connect it to this point with my curve rule. Okay, so just take your time and then get a perfect curve like so. Okay, so meaning that this part of the pattern is no longer useful. Okay, and for the front as well, this part of the pattern is no longer useful for your draft, and it is ready. Okay, so let me shade out the part that we are working with so that we can see what we have for our tube top bustier. Okay, so let me shade it out off camera. Okay, welcome back. So I've gone ahead to shade out to trace out the part that we'll be working with. So this is the part we are working with. All this part is no longer useful. Okay, so this is what we are working with, and then we are going to cut it out right now. So this is what the back of your draft will look like after you have finished alteration of your shoulder dart bustier pattern. Okay, so this is what you will have. So if you still have, if you know you have challenge with drafting bustier pattern, different bustier pattern, armhole, shoulder dart, princess dart, bustier, you can always sign up for the full master class. Okay, where you'll be having full understanding of how to draft this thing for any body size. No matter how bossy they might be able to draft a pattern for them, and it will fit them perfectly. Okay, so this is what you will have. So you want to go ahead now and take your paper scissors. Please don't work with your fabric scissors. This is my fabric scissors, so I don't use it. I use a paper scissors for my cutting of the paper. Okay, so I'll be cutting it out. Then make sure that you have labeled your pattern. You can see that I have labeled all my pattern. I even numbered it. This is 1, this is 3, 2, and 1. Okay, so that you not get confused when you finish cutting out. So this is the center back. I've used pencil before. Let me use marker. This is the side back. This is the side front. Okay, so when you sign up for the full master class, you'll be able to get to understand most of this labeling that I've done. So this is the waistline. I've labeled this. So let me just label it here. This is the bust line that I'll be using. Okay, this is the under bust line, and this is the waist. Okay, so by the time you sign up for the paid class, you can always get full details on how to draft this pattern, and that will fit your what's it called, that will fit your clients perfectly. Okay, so you can go ahead and cut your pattern now. Okay, so now when you are getting to your bust line, we have to balance the neckline at the front. Okay, for the front part of the draft, because the neckline is not balanced as it is like so. So let me bring back the what's it called, the main draft. Okay, so this was how our pattern was before we cut it off. Okay, now one of these legs are longer than the other, so you have to balance it. Okay, so let me just pin it back. Okay, so I hope you are getting what I'm saying. So just pin it back like so. I skipped that part, so let me just do that before I cut it off again. So now one of these legs is not balanced, so you can take your tape and confirm this is the leg one. Here we have about 3 and 3/4. Here you can see that this place we have 3 inches, so 3 inches, about 3 inches approximately. Okay, on this leg, meaning that this one is shorter than this one. We have to lengthen this side of the leg so that it can balance when we finish sewing them. So for you to do that, you cut your pattern from your waist up to your bust point. When you get to your bust point, then you flip your paper like so. Okay, you pin your this side of your paper like so and bring it over to this part of the paper. So this is the second leg. Okay, so you want to bring this leg over here, so just pin it like so. Make sure that it's aligned at the bust point as well. Okay, so once you have that, you then take your covering and then you balance your neckline again. Okay, to make it balanced. So let me just tape the neckline area once again. Okay, so this is our neckline. Can you see? So this is where the new length of this side of the neckline will be. So you want to connect it back to your center front. So you take your covering and then you will blend it back to it. I hope you can see what I'm doing. So just blend it back like so, and there you have it. Can you see? So this is what you will have at the end of the day when you finish sewing. So you can then go ahead and cut it off your pattern like so. Okay, so now you have an equal neckline. Your neckline is equal, so this part is no longer useful. Okay, so once you have that, you can then cut off the excess shoulder dart that was coming from that part. You cut it off and you separate the two like so. So make sure that there's no any form of sharp edge on your pattern, please. There's no part of your body that is sharp, so you want to make sure that everywhere is well blended. So you cut off the weight that you also had initially. Okay, then you cut off the side of your pattern. Okay, so now remember that we did a gaping dart here, so you want to pleat it off like so, and you take your what's it called, paper tape, and you pin it down so that you can have that side of your bust well tightened. Okay, make sure to tighten it. So take your masking tape and pin it off. Okay, so you can pin it off whichever side you desire. So let me use the other side because I've cut it off. So I'll be using this side, then I'll place it over like so. Can you see what we have there? That way you have eliminated any form of gaping that might want to happen at that side of your pattern. So there's a little sharp corner here, like this side is longer than this side, which is normal for you to have it. So just take your paper and blend it in with your, just blend it. That's it. So you can cut it off from your pattern like so. So this way your pattern is ready. So let me bring everything together so that you can see what we have. So this is what we have. This is the number one, number three, and number one, 1, 2, 3. So this is what you'll be transferring to your fabric. Okay, now before you transfer, you have to indicate your allowance. Okay, so this is the side of my back pattern. So I'll be adding 1 inch for joining the side of the patterns together. So just add 1 inch. Then the center back, I'll be using zipper. Okay, you can choose to use loop or what's it called, eyelet, but we're using zipper. So if I'm using zipper, we're needing 1 inch for joining. The hem of the waist, I'll be doing half of an inch, or I can do one. Let me do 1 inch, okay, because I'll be turning it with a lining. Then the top part of the back, I'll be doing plus half of an inch for the same allowance. So that's what I'll be adding on my fabric. So for the side front, I'll be doing plus 1 as well. This part of the bustier, I'll be doing half of an inch, okay, all through. Then the armhole area also half of an inch. So you want to label your pattern that way so that you don't get confused. Now this is the center of our front, okay, so it will be cut on fold. So you fold your paper, okay, like so. So you won't be adding any allowance. The hem you'll be doing plus 1. The side, the inside of the bustier, half. The neckline you'll be doing half of an inch, and then you'll be cutting, since you are cutting this one on fold, you'll be cutting just 1 piece of this. You'll be cutting 2 pieces of the side front, because one for the right and one for the left. This one you'll be cutting 2 pieces as well. Okay, so that's basically it for the drafting of our pattern. I hope you understand and know what we have done so far. So if you don't understand any part, you can go back and watch the part that got you confused. I'm sure you will surely get it because it is well explained. Okay, so all you just have to do is get your pattern, and once you have your pattern, you are good to go. Okay, now what I want to say, now that you have done this, you want to go ahead and transfer to your fabric. Okay, make sure you interface your fabric before you transfer to the fabric, and then you'll be cutting the same for the lining. So if you are cutting 1 piece for this one, you'll be cutting 1 piece for the lining, 2 pieces for the main fabric, 2 pieces for the lining, as well as 2 pieces for the back here and 2 pieces for the lining for the back. Okay, I think that's basically it. So, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye.